Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Welcome, everybody, to this amazing topic, this amazing collective here of energy, positivity, knowledge, props. Don't worry, I'm going to run and get some props. Alicia will find some props in some way, I'm sure. But welcome to Coach's Corner, where we're talking about something extremely powerful today. This defines your entire future, your entire life, every result you have. We can really talk about it, and I'm sure we will. My name is Jamel Matias. I am a certified consultant, Proctor Gallagher, mindset success coach. My purpose is to reveal the potential that's already there within you, but also drive you and guide you to your truest desires. And my brand is Believe in the Unseen. It's all about belief in that goal, that achievement, whatever it is for you, and belief in yourself as well. So I'm in the Maryland area, the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and I'll pass it to my amazing colleague. He's back, Paul.
Thank you, Jamel. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I was away for a couple of weeks, so I'm really excited to be joining you guys again. And my name's Paul Wooters. I'm in Burlington, Ontario, mindset success coach, Proctor Gallagher consultant, and I help individuals live to their greatest possibilities, I like to say, using this fantastic transformational program that Bob Proctor created. I help people achieve their most elusive personal and professional goals by helping them develop a deeper understanding of themselves and of their mind. And with the understanding that your results start from the inside. It's an inside job and not about the circumstances on the outside, but everything starts from within. And when you really understand yourself and understand your mind, you can see how you can create the life that you really want and desire. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to my colleague, Lou.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful every time you come or whether you catch the replay. So my name is Lou Perica. I am as well a success mindset coach. And what I do is I help growth-minded women who just want more out of life without the guilt, without the hustle and grind, to teach them how to break free from limiting beliefs and align with their mind, body, soul connection so they can like awaken their most authentic, abundant, beautiful self. Alicia.
Thank you, Lou, and welcome, Paul. I am Alicia. I am in Sweden, and I help people to create a life that feels good on the inside. And I was thinking that what I help my clients to is to understand that their happiness is not outside themselves, is within. So this is what I help my clients with, and with align their goals with their values. And I also help leaders that want to be leaders that others want to follow. That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
That's you, and that's awesome.
I love it. I love it. And, as we're all unique here and we have many different experiences and stories, we know all our viewers are unique as well, right? We all have very special journeys, very special futures, special past as well, and special present because you're here with us out of all places right now. So if you missed all, we were trying to remember how many. I think, Alicia, I think you said 18 of these we've been doing around there. Who's
20,
counting?
I think.
Okay, yeah. Who's counting? Watch all those. Watch all the past replays because we shared such beautiful information here. But this is meant for you to achieve whatever you want. So feel free to comment, ask questions, reach out to us. All our call links are in the description of whatever platform that you're on. So reach out to either one of us because we definitely want to help you with this material. And this topic today is extremely important to basically creating a higher version of yourself. And we use this word kind of loosely, right? And just to kind of give you a little idea what we've been doing, if you're new, we've been really diving into our studies, very special, powerful articles that are topic related to personal growth and personal development. So today, this is it's hard to achieve more without it. Somebody want to say the word for me? What are we talking about today?
Well, I have a little riddle.
Confidence.
There's the riddle. That's right. That's how you come back.
Confidence, yes, confidence.
Lou, would you like to share your riddle?
Well, I was gonna say this little riddle, but it is good. Everyone wants it. We're all born with it. But somewhere along the way, we start to think we've lost it. Now think about it. Babies don't hesitate to crawl, to fall. They get back up or demand what they want. And they don't second guess if they're good enough to try. They just do it. So what happened? We were taught to doubt, taught to compare, and taught to seek approval. See, we're all born with confidence, but we lose it in different areas of our life along the way. And I think this is because everyone would love to be more confident in some area of their life. So I think this is a hot, hot topic always. It's not just something that's in style. This is something that always people are looking to get better at, to improve their confidence.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that riddle. I love that riddle, Lou. It's so true, right? A baby, when you look at a baby, they just try stuff. They just trial and error. They trial and error, and as you know, it's such a great analogy, and I use that all the time. If you look at a baby, you know, it starts to walk, it falls down, bumps itself, and gets back up. And of course, you know, we would encourage the baby to get back up and keep on going. So they don't realize they just want to keep trying stuff, and kids will just try stuff, and just through trial and error, they will develop the methodology that's required to accomplish whatever it is that they're doing. And they don't really care about it didn't work this time. They're going to make it work. They're going to try something else. And as Lou said, somewhere along the line, we get beat up somehow and we just lose it. We just lose our faith in ourselves, our belief in ourselves, and we're going to discuss this further, but so many areas, but we allow, the outside circumstances to dictate, and that really starts to hurt our self-confidence. But as Lou said, everybody has it. We all have it. It's not something that we don't have, but we do lose it along the way, but it can be developed or redeveloped or further developed.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia.
Yeah, I think that, when I have 3 children, when they were like two or 3, I'm trying to, to help them to put the codes and I can sell, all the time. And I was like, okay, do that then. And then suddenly we all lose the confidence that as a child we have that. And I was thinking from where the word come, and confidence comes from the Latin and derives from the word confidere, that is fully or completely, and fidere, to trust. So confidence is truly to fully trust ourselves. And they do. The child, when they are 2 years, they truly have the confidence that they can do everything. And when we lose that somewhere,
Yeah.
yeah,
And where do we lose that?
yeah,
Right?
I need to check my bag. Maybe it's that.
You're thinking about props. Yeah, everybody loses that self-confidence in some way, right? And a lot of times it's usually in an early age. Usually, when you're upbringing, maybe a bully or some type of something that was impressed in your subconscious mind, right? It was an idea that was put there that made you felt less confident, right? So let's dive into the article. Let me share my screen and share kind of what we're talking about here. Where are we here? That way we can kind of highlight some things that spoke to us. And this is the reading that we're referencing here. It's the confidence. I've been reading that a lot, self-confidence formula, but this is not the self-confidence formula of Napoleon Hill. This is the confidence article, right? So it even starts off so powerful, right? And I don't want to go through the whole article. Trust me, we won't. But we want to highlight a few things. First thing that really jumped out to me, it even says it for many people, if the word confidence is given any thought, which, hopefully you see confidence differently after this, it is looked upon as a personality trait that you either have or you don't have, something you were born with or without. In reality, confidence is a mental state you can develop. You can develop this confidence. So if you are prepared to pay the price, this is why mentorship is important, because no results happen unless you pay the price, right? So it is also important for you to understand that the price is small relative to the return. So that really jumped out to me, because you can develop it. And once you develop it, the return is 100-fold. It's like I keep saying key to freedom, but confidence is also a key to freedom, in my opinion. Did anybody want to share anything with that opening paragraph there?
Yeah, I wrote, so I have my book with me, and as I'm highlighting, or as I highlight, I said, well, I wonder if the others picked up the same things. I wonder if they highlighted the same areas. But when I was younger, first of all, I think the doubt in areas of our life can come from, helicopter parents or adults. Watch out, be careful, don't touch that, don't do that, right? And I did my share of that as well. But I also thought confidence, to me, when I was younger, portrayed someone that was almost cocky, right? So I couldn't differentiate really between, like when I was younger, cockiness or conceit and confidence. I didn't know that, I was too young, right? But when you would see someone very confident, that I know now that they're confident, I would hear, oh, look at them, they're so full of themselves, right? They're cocky, they're self-absorbed, they're arrogant. Well, I didn't want to be looked upon that way. So I realized that I held back because I didn't want to stand out. But in my younger days, that's what I interpreted confidence to be. And when I look at it now, I go, whoa, right? But because it was always portrayed, the confident person on TV, either she was the bitch or the guy was arrogant and sleazy, whatever. So it was always portrayed to me differently in my mind, in my perception. That's how. So to be confident, I wanted to be almost like a quiet confident, not boastful, not show up to be my full self. I played small because I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to bring attention to myself. So I think that's just that's what that first paragraph meant to me. I don't know how anyone else interpreted that.
Yeah, I want to say that, because for me, like confidence, as you say, is nothing that, oh, somebody is born with and other not. It's about the beliefs and feelings, and the beliefs are, or way of thinking, and our feelings that that uh, things will turn well, and not of them is something we have, is something that we create. And we don't have a belief that is confident. We create that belief. And I to understand that, or to explain that better, is like the power plant doesn't have energy, but it generates energy. It transforms energy from one state to another state. And it's the same with the confidence. And I saw that I don't have prompt, but this is, you have a light in that. It's not light, but it has the possibility to create light. But because the batteries are old, I cannot create that. And it's the same with confidence. We need to create that. And then we need to be willing to pay the price that it come to do that, to create the confidence. We need to be willing to pay the price, feel that we are worthy, and that we are capable of doing that.
Yeah, I love those points that Lou and Alicia just pointed out. It's so true, right? When a person walks, like Lou was saying, when a person's walking around, you think that they have this confidence, and you think that they're kind of have this arrogance or something about them, but it's not that at all, right? It's really, these people have, they know what they do well, and they know why. They know why, right? So they have this awareness. As Bob would say, you have this awareness of this infinite power that's within us. And with that, they choose to build an image in their mind of what it is that they want to do. And, you develop this self-confidence, as the result of like really studying yourself and being disciplined. And it's really about knowledge, right? I think that comes up again in this article a bit later, but that self-confidence is about knowledge. It's about, you need the information. And, if you do something well 1,000 times, you can do it, and then you'll be confident. But if you haven't done it before, you just don't know. So as Alicia said, you have to have this belief. You have to have this belief in yourself, and you have to build this image of doing it, of seeing that result, and focusing on those things that everyone has these gifts, things that they can do really, really well. And so in those things, develop those things. You have proof, but too often we hold ourselves back from doing something. And it could be, as Lou said, I don't want to draw attention to myself, because I look at these other people who appear to be confident. Well, they're arrogant. I don't want to have that arrogance. But it's not about, and there are people who are arrogant, but it's not, but self-confidence is this, and I like to have a quiet self-confidence too, as Lou said, not really drawing a lot of attention, but it's really about knowing. It's about knowing and believing and doing and creating this image of what you want to do, and then start acting that way, and start doing and follow up with taking that action to becoming that person, to be that person and take that action which corresponds with that. But a lot of things in life beat us down, and it could be our environment, it could be, Jamel brought up, it could be bullying, or it could be you didn't receive a good mark, as good a mark as you wanted, at school, or it's just the comments or the feedback that you get can really play havoc on our confidence, right? So it really is. We do have confidence, and it can be developed. I think that's really, really important. And that's what I got out of that first paragraph, really, is that, everybody has it and you can develop it.
Yeah, that's really good, Paul. It actually reminds me there's like a little delay there. Yeah. Yeah, it really reminds me of like a rubber band. If you have a rubber band, this is a hair tie.
Is that your prop?
I'm working on it. So, this rubber band, as it's stretching, right? You're becoming a higher version, right? But notice as it goes back, right? So to gain confidence, you're stretching yourself from your original state. You're doing something that you normally don't do, right? You see that? But for some reason, you keep going back. But notice it's a little bigger, right? So the point is, you have to kind of go beyond what you normally do to gain that confidence. And the more you do it, you become a higher version and you raise your level of confidence. And I really like what Lou was sharing there about, when I saw confidence at an early age, I thought it was just cocky, right? Arrogant, right? But we talked very deeply about judgment, in another episode of Coach's Corner. And sometimes when you see confidence and you're judging it in a negative way, that's your perception. That says something about you, how you're perceiving that confidence. It was just something that really stood out to me. And having confidence is essential to growth and better results. But you want to continuously do something that makes you uncomfortable to gain that. And that's how you develop it. It's fun. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but once you do it, it's like, wow, I'm going to do it again. All of us here, everyone that watches, face some type of discomfort, and you either go back to your comfort zone or you keep doing what's uncomfortable until it's comfortable, right? Setting up, maybe technology. You have some type of, I go crazy when I set that up or whatever, and then you do it. You're like, what, that wasn't too hard. I can do this. And you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. Like, we're just meant to grow, and confidence comes with growth. The more you're growing in so many different ways, in your mindset, whether it's physically or whatever, talking to people, you're becoming a grander version of what you're meant to be. And, we touched on it a little bit. Let me share the article really quick.
I want to answer the question from Heather.
Sure. Yeah, I saw it there. Yeah.
She's asking if this distinction between confidence and self-absorption. It seems like people who constantly talk about themselves while disregarding what others have to say aren't demonstrating confidence. They are showing arrogance. And this is, I agree, Heather, because confidence, people that are confident, they are quiet. They are very good listener. And they don't need to show something for others, show up for, what I see, to prove anything to anybody. The ego is not taking over, while people that are in self-absorption or arrogance often come from the insecurity. The ego need to, look at me, here I am, and often is because they are not secure. This is my view, my point of view of that.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia, and hi, Heather. I'm glad you're tuning in here. Yeah, it's interesting comment. Thanks for commenting too. Is there a distinction between confidence and self-absorption? So I would say, yeah, right? Confidence comes from within, right? And when you're self-absorbed, you're closing everything outside, like even everything, right? Other people and all that. So I would say there is a difference. It seems like people constantly talk about themselves while disregarding. Yeah, that's different than confidence, right? initial?
I normally say that confident people, they are more interested in other people, but what is the name?
Absorption.
Self-absorption people, they are more interested in showing their self.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
so interested or interesting, trying to be interesting for other people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well put. Well said there.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was showing the article there. So, in the second paragraph, it says having confidence will free you to go where your heart leads you, to do what you must do. Confidence gives you strength with style. It generates a non-physical aura that captures the conscious attention of everyone in your presence.
Mhm.
That was huge for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of us, you see speakers and stuff. Look at Bob, right? Remember, Bob didn't have the confidence in the beginning, right? He said, I was scared to talk in person. I didn't know how to talk like that and share knowledge like that. And look what confidence did for him and for millions and millions of people. You can pick any speaker, right? Once they gain that confidence to get on stage or get on video, a lot of things shifted for them. And I really like that part. It says, having confidence will free you to go where your heart leads you. Where did your heart lead you?
Oh.
No, I didn't have a heart.
I was waiting for a
I
heart.
do have a heart. I have a subconscious mind. Where does your heart lead you? Right? So you actually gain confidence when you fall in love with the goal.
Mhm.
It's really deep when you think about that. Yeah, I can go on and on, but anybody, please.
I wanted to remind people that confidence is really natural. Self-doubt is taught. Confidence doesn't just disappear, it's suppressed.
Mhm.
And we all have confidence in many areas. Like if you drive, you know how to drive, you hop in the car, you don't question your ability to drive, you don't question your ability to dress yourself in the morning and whatnot, right? So we're confident in many areas. But I also think that when we get that feeling, because the body never lies, what it's doing is bringing to our conscious attention, this is an area that you struggle in, right? You get some more understanding about, let's say you want to speak on stage, for an example, get some more understanding, practice. But it's showing us a limiting belief. That's why we feel the fear, because it's so out of alignment with our truth, with our true, confident selves. We were not created to fail. We were created to succeed in life. And that's why we talk about all these topics, because we have them all within us. I joke around and say, you can't buy these things on Amazon, at least not yet, right? But all these things are, in a way, installed in us so we can succeed. But we've also been raised, generation after generation after generation with beliefs, limiting beliefs, habits, fixed ideas. And now we start to believe that people have the power. And we put our beliefs in other people instead of the power that created us and installed everything that we need is already there. So when you feel a lack of confidence, you could probably connect it to something back in your childhood. But just know that feeling, because the body does not lie. The body is signaling you. That emotion is signaling you. Something's up here. You need to get a better understanding of what it is. Again, let's say it's public speaking. Practice it and know that you already have confidence installed in you, so to speak. You are one with the infinite. And that's what we'll get into more. But when you know that, I don't know. I don't know what can make you more confident than knowing that you are connected with the one infinite source.
Yeah. I see confidence in three different areas: confidence in self, confident skills, and confident in social interactions. And confident in self is that I know that I can cope. I can handle whatever is happening around me.
Mhm.
This is the confidence in self, that whatever is coming, I can handle that. And then you have also the skill. For example, I am very skilled in different things, but if you put me to ski, my confidence will lower, right away. But because my confidence in self is good, then I know that I can learn that if I'm willing to pay the price.
Yeah, this is so good.
33 years in Sweden, I have not even willing to pay the price yet. So it's like I know that if you say to me that you need to take these keys, and then okay, I cannot, but because of the self-confidence good, I know that I can learn that if I put the time and they pay the price that is
And
need
if you
to.
have the desire,
Yeah,
that's
the desire is because it's like, yeah, but if you say to me that your children are there and the only way that you can save them is to take this key to that, I will pay the price. And the desire is, is the why I need to do that, and all everything that is why I should learn that, and I'm willing to pay the price to do that. And the skills here also is about competence, so skill, different skills, yeah, and also the social interactions, to have this confidence of going to a party and can you talk to people, or having discussions with people you don't know. All this is also another sort, is another part of the confidence, I think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, as Lou said, and as Alicia alluded to, do you want it? Like,
Hmm.
what is your why? Do you really want it? And that's the price you have to pay if you really want something. And I understand if you've never done something before, you don't know. And so without that knowledge, confidence is knowledge. Without that knowledge, you doubt. And if you want to be confident, then you have to give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself a chance to find out what your abilities are. So by trying new things, as Jamel said, he had that elastic band. By trying new things, then you're taking the risk to stretch yourself and stretch your present level of ability. And then you will discover that, hey, I can do this. That trying is the key to that. There's a saying or a quote that I use when I coach people, and especially when I'm coaching kids in sports. I don't know who the quote. I can't attribute it to someone, but the quote is, "Your greatest achievement starts with your decision to try." You have to try. And then when you realize, when you do that, you come to know that taking the chance, it's not the end of the world. That you realize that the security and peace are not the grounds of which self-confidence is developed. But without at least trying, you're living well below your ability level. You're living well below your ability level if you're not going to try. And I remember Bob saying, that self-doubt is an illness. It's a progressive illness. If you refuse to risk and try something that's going to give you confidence, a confidence building project, then you just begin this downward spiral of rejecting your growth opportunities. And then you end up just settling, and you settle into the safety net of life. And too many people fall into that safety net, because of that self-doubt, and they just won't try. And confidence is knowledge, but you have to get out and try. Like Lou said at the beginning, that baby, they'll just try things, and somewhere along the line we lose that. But you have to continue to try, and that will help build your confidence. Jamel?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. If you don't try, well, one, you got to have something that you really want, right? What do you really want to achieve? Like, just look at this year. We're already in April, and so many New Year's resolutions, people probably canned it already. And, you got to really figure out what your heart of hearts really wants. What do you desire that you never done before? And that's where, the motion starts in your mind's eye. And then obviously, as you impress it, your body will start taking certain actions. And I wanted to share, the article again, because there was something really powerful that spoke to me here on what we're referencing here today. Let's see. And off camera here, my daughter's trying to give me a prop. So she's bringing everything. I love it. She's so supportive. She's like, "Here, Daddy, take this, take this."
Oh.
So, right here in the article, it says, and we're talking about confidence today, right? This power is far greater than any condition or circumstance with which you could be confronted. That is huge. And they highlight it right here, right? And then the dictionary defines confidence as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers, right? You're becoming aware of who you really are when you become confident, which we're unlimited beings. We're unlimited. We only limit ourselves with our thoughts. And it always starts with our thoughts. Our thoughts follow our actions. Why do we lack self-confidence? Because of some type of conditioning in our past. But today is the day that you can do something uncomfortable to gain more confidence. Imagine if we started inviting a guest up here and they can fire away with questions, right? And that person's never been on video before. That is something you probably never, maybe you never done before. And it'll be a way to gain some confidence. So on the second page, they mentioned, wow, why does it look like that? Let's zoom out. Maybe I zoomed too far in. Oh, that's strange. But anyway, on the second page here on my paper version, thankfully, they talked about these are certain steps that they highly recommend for you for confidence. If you all want to read with me, it's 94. And it says, 1, check your self-image. Right? So someone once said that the room for self-improvement was the largest room in the world.
That's the best quote.
Right? That's huge. The room for self-improvement was the largest room in the world. This is why mentorship, if you're taking it for granted, you might want to really pay attention to this. So regardless of where you are on your personal confidence gauge, these 3 points will be of value to you. So it says, number 1, check your self-image. Really check your self-image. This is a critical part of your mental machinery when it comes to keeping your confidence humming. So when you think of anything, you think in pictures. What kind of picture comes to your mind when you think of yourself? That is so good. So confidence is an inside job. It will always be that. So to have or not have confidence has nothing to do with what is happening outside of you. Confidence is determined by what is going on inside of you. Thank you, my love. And speaking of confidence, my daughter wanted to draw this stick figure.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
That's
right on
fun.
camera for me while I was talking that time, talking about confidence, right?
Oh.
So she's portraying the stick man, the secret genie, and she drew it really fast to basically, and you notice she doesn't like getting on camera when I'm talking coaches, but she wanted to be a part of this. So,
Oh.
you know, it's determined by what's going on inside of you. That's confidence, right? And you either sit in your comfort zone, take notes all day, watch videos all day, you know, wish and hope for things to change and never take any action. The choice is always yours. So check your self-image. What does it look like? What does it really look like? And this is not to beat yourself down. Never do that. This is to build you up. You have to be objective and really reflective on your confidence level. Like I said in many videos, I was never this confident. I was this quiet kid, didn't raise his hand. I sat in the back. I mean, some class I sat in the front to goof off. I even made jokes to even I was a class clown for one of the subjects. It was Spanish class because I wanted people to like me. I wanted them not to see the lack of confidence. And interestingly, doing that, I gained confidence by not having confidence. You see how this works, right? You're doing something you normally don't do. So, you know, it is so powerful. This is a critical part of your mental machinery. It always starts within. And you kind of have to really focus on what your confidence gauge is. The more confidence you have, obviously, you can do things where you're producing the results that you want. It all boils down to the paradigm, right? The paradigm's connected with lack of confidence. It's a lack mindset. That's why we talk about life here. It's so important to learn about yourself and the universal laws. If you don't, you're just going to be, remember the story of Les Brown? All the ghosts of all the dreams and wishes and hopes surround you and say, we had to die with you because you didn't bring us to life. Sorry, I got really spirited there.
Never a
Spirited.
I wanted to add to that when you talk about self-image, because I believe that there's three different things that can have like hallmarks to confidence, and one is the authenticity. I mean, if you have a good self-image, then you will be authentic yourself, because you don't need to try to impress anybody, or you have just who you are, your authenticity with you. And are you taking action? Because the second is the action. Are you taking action that is aligned with your values, what is important to you? Is very important. When you take action according to your values and to your what is important to you, then you will be more in alignment. You will more what is the name is congruent in who you are. Or when you are more congruent, then the confidence will be there. And also one thing more is the adaptability to challenge. If you have a good self-image, you will also be able to adapt to the challenge that are coming all the time. So it's you did very good there in self-image things.
I also, on self-image, well, we have to understand that a baby is not born with the self-image. That's so vital to remember. A baby's not born with the self-image. So where did our self-image come from? Again, to look at a baby and see the pureness of the baby. They're just joy and love and curious and risk takers. So up till about the age 2, right? They're just themselves. But throughout those 2 years, they've been recording and downloading. So this is why, Jamel, when I see your daughter, your whole family is so blessed to be able to pass on this information. It's amazing because, right, like we'd say, if you don't change your habits, you pass them on to the next generation. And I see that. I think we can all see that, when you're an adult and you have children and whatever age they are, you can see where you've passed on habits. But on our self-image, that baby is pure. But they started recording and picking up things. They were picking up self-doubt and limiting beliefs and fixed ideas and prejudices and resentments. All of these things they're picking up. And then we grow into adulthood, and those things are still there. And this is why when you feel, it simply means you're out of alignment with your truth. Your truth is pure joy, pure love, curiosity, confident. And this is why when the body signals us through our emotions, it's just a guidance system letting us know we're off course. We need to course correct. And this is why, once again, having the goal, what do you truly, truly want? Because it gives us a target, what we're aiming for, that we're willing to go on camera. Maybe we weren't comfortable going on camera, but we were willing to pay the price because our goal meant that much to us. Or getting up in front of speaking to a room full of people. Maybe we've never done that before, but because our goal was so important to us, we were willing to pay the price. And I remember you reminded me, Alicia, of a story. When I was in real estate, the real estate coach at one of the trainings said, he had he says, I want you to imagine a piece of wood up here on the stage. It's 20 feet long and 12 inches wide. And he says, would you come up now and walk across that wood? And everyone's like, yeah, of course we would. He said, all right, well, what if I took that piece of wood and put it between, one end on one chair and one end on another chair? Would you walk? Oh, maybe, because it might, but yeah, maybe I'd try. Well, what if I put that same board between 2 buildings that were very close to one another? And then it was like, zzz, wouldn't do it, right? And he says, well, now I want you to imagine you're on one building and on the other building is burning and your child is in there. Ugh, right? So the point of this was that hit me. That was an emotional impact that the next day or that week, I went out door knocking. Now, okay, that's what real estate is, but I did it almost in a snowstorm. Not a snowstorm, but it was snowing. And I pulled up into the neighborhood and I was nervous. I was like, oh my God. But all I could picture was my daughter in that building. So I went and I knocked on doors because the desire was so strong that it made me get out of my comfort zone. It took a lot of guts just to open the car door, right? And take that first step and go, all right, we're going to do this. But that's what the desire, like when you really want something or your why is so strong that you're willing to pay the price. And this is a part of you, the confidence starts to emerge. That was suppressed. It's always been there, but it starts to say yes. And that's when you feel that amazing feeling because your body's saying you're in alignment now.
Good. So good.
I love that. I love that analogy. I love that example Lou used, and I've used that too about walking across that board. Like it really grabs people's attention. It really does.
Yeah.
And the other thing that jumped out of that point that Jamel, that paragraph that Jamel started was, and then we all alluded to this when we were introducing ourselves about, it being an inside job. Confidence is an inside job. To have or not have confidence has nothing to do with what's happening outside of you. It's determined by what's going on inside of you. And we all spoke about that when we were introducing ourselves, that the program, we're helping people understand that your results are from the inside out, and you have to understand yourself. That confidence is a relationship with yourself. It's trusting that you will show up, that you will learn and grow through whatever comes your way. And that's tough, because when you haven't done it, you don't know. But you starts off with that belief, like Lou said, what is your why? What is that you really want? And you want to cross that board to get to your child in that burning building. You wouldn't even hesitate then. So what is that you really want? And what is your why? And then you just try to develop this belief system, belief in yourself. And that confidence starts with a mindset. Even if the belief is small, it's a seed, right? And you can start taking those actions. And we've talked about this in other lessons, right? If you want to start a new habit, it's not about taking massive, you can take massive actions, but maybe you need to start very small. And you can do the thing, even if you're not certain. So to help grow your confidence, start by doing. And that action will create belief, even if it's micro steps, but you have to be consistent in it. And then you will get evidence, you will get results. Now you have some proof, you'll get feedback. And that's another thing we've talked about, because sometimes you'll do something and maybe it's not as successful as you would like. And you could say, okay, now I have proof that I can't do it. Or you can flip that, switch and say, well, no, I just have to do it differently. I have to do something different. But you have to take that action, and that will give you that feedback to make the corrections that you need. But it's all about, what is your why? Identify what is your why. What is it you really want? And start taking the steps towards that. You will get feedback. It can be a little bit scary, and that's fine, because if you don't do it, then you're going to you fall into that safety net, and you'll never discover what your true abilities are. So get excited about what could go right. I think Les Brown, and Jamel talked about Les Brown. I think that's what he said. Instead of being afraid of what could go wrong, think about the things that can go right for you, and start taking those steps. But it is an inside job. Forget about the circumstances outside, and identify what it is you want and start taking those steps. Even if they're micro steps, start taking those steps, and you will see different results. And that's how you will build your confidence.
That's so good, Paul. The inside out job start with self-awareness. And I will tell you a story. I started a 30-day challenge about self-awareness. I wanted people to be more self-aware. So I did that. And I got a question today that, but I made the decision to do this challenge and I was so interested in doing that, but I have some resistance. And this is what I answered to that person. It is completely normal to feel the resistance, even when you are the one that made the decision. In fact, resistance often shows up, especially when you have taken the decision. And because it's the kind of the journey awaken something inside us, not logic, but your nervous system and your familiar defenses your ego. Our ego's taught, to be the resistance, because your ego doesn't want to change. So if you commit to something simple, that answer a question about yourself, even then the ego will stop you, because it's like it doesn't want you to change. So I wrote this is because our ego, the job of our ego is to defend the concept we have of ourselves. We talk about self-image before. So if my self-image is like, oh, but I am this and I that, my ego will defend that concept that I have for myself. So we need always to work with that. So I told them, it's okay. It's just continue to work with you. It will come resistance from you all the time. And it's your ego.
Yeah. It's the ego. Yeah, paradigm. It's we're the only problem and the only solution, right? Everybody, right? It'll always be that way, right? And speaking of solutions, there's a step 2, right? A second step. Here's an action that you can do to kind of help you out to focus, right, on your confidence. And I didn't want to do like a part 2 here, so I want to really emphasize this. So, well, we can, we can do this forever. So the second step is to check your strengths and weaknesses, right? So you might take a pad and pen and begin making a couple of lists. So if you're honest with yourself, you will find the weaknesses far outweigh the strengths. Now, this may come as a surprise to you. Forget about developing your weaknesses. Huge. Instead, manage them and put your energy into developing your strengths. So in other words, direct your efforts and attention to getting better at what you already do well. So keep getting better at it until you have mastered it. So it makes sense to do what you enjoy and what you do well. The more you do it, the better you will get at it. So the more you enjoy it, you will naturally exude confidence. It's a very simple step, but I really, really wanted to emphasize that here as well, because we focus a lot on what we're not doing well, right? We'll focus on, oh, I didn't say that right. Oh, we talked about hair before we got on, and let me fix my hair or whatever, right? The reflection of my glasses or whatever, right? We're looking at a lack thing. We're putting energy into what we don't want and trying to, you're basically creating what you don't want. So you want to focus on your strengths and master it, right? And then that creates the momentum, right? And building confidence. It's fun. It's a lot easier method than focusing on your weaknesses. And I'm really glad they put that in there. And, it helped me a lot as well. I was like, what are my strengths? Oh, I wrote them all down. Oh, I can do that? Wow, let me just focus on that for a month. Now, yeah, I mastered that. Next, right? And then you're in a better vibration too, right? And the universe, infinite intelligence responds to that vibration, which is amazing. And there was one last step. Did anybody want to share anything with that step? There's one last one I wanted to share.
No, but I just quickly want to share this little part. I won't even talk on it. I just want to read it because I put a heart next to it. You are a creative distributor of a life-giving force. What you put out always comes back. I just wanted to read that. But go ahead with step 3.
Yeah, that's actually part of it, right? That's part of step 3. So
part of step 1.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Mm.
So the third step is to train your mind to see in all people what they do not see in themselves. Begin to treat every person you come in contact with as the most important person in the world. Look at them with a new awareness. See every person as an expression of spirit, which is always perfect. Refuse to permit another person to influence how you see and treat them. Wow. So the bottom line is, it says the good you find in others is a reflection of the good that is in yourself. So when you see good in other people, it has to come through you first, essentially. And I really thought, I know what that is. You're pretty much leaving every person with the impression of increase, but you're also seeing the good in every person. So, and it says, look for what they do well and let them know you notice it. Give everyone a sincere, merited compliment. Their good work is spirit shining through them. Look for it. Remember the age-old advice, seek and you will find. So that is a huge, we could do a whole episode on step 3, but I really wanted to make sure it was said here, because I see.
It's a great reminder.
Yeah.
As you were reading it, I was like, yeah, Lou, you could probably do a better job at that. It was a reminder. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. And I see, the good in each of you here and all our viewers. Right. And it's a good reminder to think about and be aware of every day. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to get those ones in there.
Yeah, I know, because I didn't know if this was going to be a part 2 or not.
You can do whatever we like.
I just have my last words that I'd like to end with for me. You were born confident, and it is still within you. The next level of your life doesn't require you to become someone new, just to remember who you truly are. It's all within you. Hi, Margaret. Thank you. That's so important to remember, that you were born confident and it's still there. It's just being suppressed by limiting beliefs, fixed ideas, habits, and self-doubt, and fear of what other people may say or do, fear of failure, all that stuff. But the confidence is still within you. Remember that.
What I wanted to say is that remember that to trust in yourself and to show up as your best self, and do a good job. That is to trust that you can always show up as your best self. If you are going to do something, and ask yourself, are I'm being my best self here or not? Yeah.
I don't know how I can top what Alicia and Lou just said. Those are really great points. I hope that those are 2 fabulous takeaways. And I'm just going to go back to the second step, and that's to work on your strengths. Like you don't know where to begin. There's your starting point. You have gifts. You have really unique, beautiful, powerful gifts that are inside you, and some of you haven't opened up your gifts. So open that thing up. Look for your strengths. As Jamel pointed out, you can make a list of your weaknesses and strengths. Your weaknesses are probably a huge number, but focus on your strengths and develop those, because surely you can have confidence when you know you can do something well, right? Confidence is knowing, it's knowledge. You know you can do something. Work on that until you have really mastered it. And that will give you the confidence to try new things, because you really want to come out as your best self and to live your best life. Jamel.
I love it. Well said, Paul. And, Paul mentioned we all have gifts. And what really jumped out at me is, like Bob said, you were born rich. We all have these gifts: imagination, perception, will, memory, reason, intuition. And what are we doing with these gifts? Right? these gifts were given to us for free, and we can utilize them to create whatever we want, create the environment that we want. And we allow fear to kind of take us back and hold us back. And Lou even mentioned a lot about certain things that conditioned us. The only two fears that we have, is fear of falling when we're born, fear of falling, and loud noises. So everything else was learned. That's a lot of conditioning that holds us back from lowering our self-confidence in who we really are. Remember, we are spiritual beings. We have an intellect and we live in a body, a physical body. So tapping into spirit every day, knowing with faith that you are an abundant being, creating whatever you want, that's huge. Self-image, you can never outperform your self-image. Your self-confidence is connected to that self-image. So outperforming, it's like a threshold. You can't go past it, right? So this is why you have to develop your strengths and you start breaking through. You break through, you break through, and you break through, and you're like, and you look back, you're like, whoa, I am a different person now. Thank goodness I made that decision. So I'm going to end here on, all of you inspired this quote, and it's a very famous, short quote here by Bill Gove. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me you think I should be. Not the me I think my wife thinks I should be. Not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. So I better know who me is. That's Bill Gove. So ask yourself, who am I and who am I becoming?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Sunday. Make sure you reach out to any of us. If something said here on the episode that really spoke to you, that really helped you, feel free to put a comment. But most importantly, take action towards the future you desire. We're readily here to help you.
You'll need a telescope to look back where you were.
That's right. That's right. And remember, time.
Oh, jeez.
This is the present, right? And the stand going on here is your past. You can't do anything with the past. And here's your future. But we don't know how much time we have in the future, right? All we have is now. What are we doing in this moment? Right?
Yep.
I found one more prop for everybody. Sorry.
I gotta get some.
I'm holding it down for Alicia today. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye. Thank you.